Coming up on 5 Minute News. Vaccinated people can gather without masks indoors. Georgia Republicans advance bill to restrict black people from voting. And California wildfires more harmful than vehicle emissions. It's Tuesday, March 9. I'm Anthony Davis. People who've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 can meet without masks indoors in small groups with others who have been inoculated, but should avoid non-essential travel and continue to wear face coverings in public, the Biden administration said on Monday. In a long-awaited update of its guidance for behaviors to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, the US CDC said fully vaccinated people could also meet in small groups with unvaccinated individuals deemed at low risk for severe COVID-19 from one other household without masks. The slight lifting of restrictions represented a still cautious approach to public health guidance, despite the quickly growing number of vaccinated people. President Joe Biden has urged Americans to remain vigilant and continue to follow CDC guidelines to prevent another surge of cases. The CDC said fully vaccinated people should continue to follow many precautions, such as avoiding big in-person gatherings, wearing masks when visiting with unvaccinated people from multiple households, or wearing masks with people at risk of severe COVID-19. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky told reporters it was important to protect those who've not been vaccinated and remain vulnerable while some 60,000 new coronavirus cases occur every day. Georgia lawmakers have advanced a measure that would significantly curtail voting access after a record number of voters propelled Democratic victories in the 2020 race. The measure scraped through 29-20 in the GOP-controlled Georgia Senate, which was the absolute minimum number of votes Republicans needed. 4 Republicans, including some in competitive races, sat out the vote. The bill, SB 241, would end the right to vote by mail without having to provide an excuse, a policy that Georgia Republicans implemented in the state in 2005. More than 1.3 million people voted by mail in the 2020 general election in the state. Under the bill, only people aged 65 and older, or who have one of a handful of state-approved excuses, would be allowed to vote by mail. Republicans have frequently held up the false spectre of voter fraud to justify such restrictions, though there were several vote recounts in Georgia in the 2020 race, as well as audits, and officials found no such wrongdoing. State Senator Elena Parent, a Democrat, said the justification for the bill was a weaponization of Trump's lies about the election. There are many thousands of Georgians right now whose political spirit is awakened by disgust at modern-day voter suppression. A stream of Democrats criticized the measure as a thinly veiled effort to suppress black and other minority voters in Georgia. Those groups contributed to record turnout in the state in 2020 and helped propel Joe Biden, as well as Democrats' senatorial candidates, to stunning victories in the state. Toxic particles spewed by wildfires resulted in 10 times as many respiratory illness-related hospitalizations as other types of pollution. The thick grey wildfire smoke that shrouds California each autumn and winter could be more harmful to humans than pollution from cars and other sources, a new study has found. Coming at the heels of the state's worst wildfire season on record, the findings add to growing evidence that extreme fires, fueled by climate change, will have increasingly dire health consequences for residents in the western U.S. Tiny toxic particles spewed by wind-whipped wildfires resulted in 10 times as many hospitalizations due to respiratory illness as compared with other types of pollution, We know wildfires are going to become more extreme due to climate change, said Rosanna Aguilera, a postdoctoral scholar who co-authored the research, and it's important that we start to reckon with the health effects of that. The pollution disproportionately impacts low-wage workers and poor communities of color across the state who are already exposed to high levels of pollution from other sources, including factories, highways, and refineries. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.